guys, it's Dwight. Okay, the paints are all mixed and here we go. So this is my 24 by 36 canvas. And these are the colors I'm going to be using today. Start with my Artist Loft Soft Body Black, that's my dump paint. And next to that is Artist Loft Soft Body White. And then we have some bright copper, I believe that's folk art. And then just some Artist Loft Soft Body blue with some soft body white added to it as well. There's some ultramarine blue. This is peacock pearl. And then we have champagne. Remember to strain your paints. Look at the lumps, especially in the champagne. And also don't forget to strain your floetrol. There is my colander. Yes, we're going to do a colander pour. Hold on, we'll get started here in just a moment. Hey friends, here we are back in the studio. A quick hello with my blue jazz hands. So as you notice here, I am showing you a different angle today. What I wanted to do was intersperse angles like this with angles from above, but my tripod broke, and so I just have my phone sitting on a box here. Now, I get asked a lot why I paint my corners and edges black. So as you know, the canvas is white, and since I use thin paints and I'm tilting off, I don't want there to be a white edge with canvas, like the texture of the canvas showing. So, you know, you don't have to use black. You can use any color you'd like. It just sort of fills in that space and it just makes it look a little bit cleaner, and you don't see the texture when you are finished and the painting is dry. Okie doke. So my paints have already been mixed. They're sitting over there at the end of the canvas. I do go back and I make sure that my paints are the same consistency, and I also continue to stir them just to make sure that nothing has settled, because they've been sitting there for a while. You know, it takes 20, 30, 40 minutes to mix all the paints, and so some of those paints have been sitting there for quite a long time. So yeah, it's, you know, it takes time, but I rather make sure everything is the right consistency. Okay, I think I'm almost done here. And yeah, I dry off my stir sticks. I do that. It's become a ritual for me because I'd rather be able to get up and walk out of the room as opposed to working and then watching the canvas and seeing what's happened. I want to be surprised. So I've started pouring the colors in, as you can see. I love that blue, such a beautiful blue. Then there's some more of that white. And that sort of lightish blue. Copper, of course. God, I almost poured the whole cup in there. And then the champagne. You know, that color is so interesting. It looks sort of like an orange yellow, but it dries like a champagne color. So it's a nice color. So I am just stacking. You can see it coming out of the colander. I wish I had an above view looking down on top. I'm sure it'd be quite beautiful. So before I pick the colander up, I double check to make sure the consistency of my black paint is right. Again, I'm going to dry my hands off a little bit, pick up some of the drips, clean off my big stir stick there, get some paper towels ready, and here we go. So if this is your first time watching, what I typically say is, it doesn't have to be pretty. I just want as much paint out of the colander as possible. Now, I've seen some people do colander pours, which are beautiful, but it's probably a different type of colander than what I'm using. And maybe I'll explain that if I have some time. So I just slowly start to tilt. Now, this is sped up a little bit, believe it or not. I just want to get the paints over the edges. And then I have all this real estate and the leftover paint. So I bring it back, the weight of the paint back a little bit to the middle of the canvas. As you can see, some of these pearls and cells are starting to form. And usually at this point, you know, I'm drying off my hands, but I'm also just watching to see how the paints are reacting and making sure that they're coming up consistently. Because if my black paint is too thick, it's going to stifle the growth of these pearls and cells. So again, popping the bubbles. And sometimes what that does, when the paint is so stretched out, it allows the color underneath the black to start to come through. So I move it back and forth a little bit to help open up some of the pearls that are starting to slowly form. And as you can see, the color filled in. I wish I had an above view for you. Okay, well, we'll show you the wet results here in just a moment, and I hope you enjoy. So guys, here we are with the initial wet walkthrough. I'm really happy with how these colors turned out. Now, most of these colors were Deco Art Americana brand and Dazzling Metallics, and then I had some Gotta Deal Champagne, which you can see in there, that lighter kind of yellow color. Now, as you noticed today, I had a different angle because my tripod broke, and so I have another one, but I don't have the right attachment to put my iPad or my iPhone on. So I use my iPad at a different angle. But I wanted to show you while it's wet, there's still some cells popping up. I can see just the color is really beautiful. Now, typically the negative space, I like it a little bit smaller, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm getting tired of being a perfectionist. So while these cells and the color and the composition is beautiful, I'm leaving this one alone because it's pretty awesome. As you can see, there are a few cells coming in through there and up through here. So that'll just kind of fill in a little bit more, hopefully. I will pop the bubbles in just a moment here. So guys, I will show you the dried results and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay guys, here I am with the final dried painting here. I really like the way the paints interacted with each other. I wanted to show you these cells and these pearls. You know, they're like multicolored. Like you can see the white here with some of that dark blue, some of the white in there, a little bit of copper. I keep forgetting, and I'll note again that for these types of pearls, the Artist Loft, the Deco Art Americana brand paints work really, really well. Nice pearls through here. I had a few pop up. My negative space is bigger than I prefer, but it's fine. I'm going to go in and just clean up a little bit. There are a few speckles in there that you can see in here, and maybe clean up a little bit around the edge, but there's, you know, it's pretty stark, so there's nothing really in there. Let me walk around over here. I just like to show you every little angle. Again, that dark blue came through with the white. That copper really did a good job here. You can see it almost in every cell or every pearl. There seems to be some bit of copper. Yeah, except for these in here. Some of them look like I even painted the centers. You can see that one right there, but I didn't touch it. And I don't plan to. Okay, friends, this is the 24 by 36. I will do another painting sooner than later. And thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you real soon.